Do you ever feel like your life could be better, but you're not sure where to start? Maybe you feel tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed by everything coming at you. The truth is, your life doesn't improve all at once. It improves step by step through what you do each day. In this video, I'm going to share 10 daily actions that can help you gain more control, build real discipline, and feel stronger, mentally and emotionally. These are simple but powerful things you can start doing today. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. If you're ready to stop wasting time and start building the life you actually want, this is the place to begin. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have clear real-life strategies you can use every day to grow into the person you're meant to be. Let's get into it, one change at a time. Number 1, wake early and conquer your hardest task first. Wake up early, not because someone told you to, not because it's a trend, not because it sounds good, but because it gives you control. Control over your time, control over your habits, control over your emotions. That's where life begins to change. Not when you follow everyone, but when you take full responsibility for how your day starts. When you wake up early, you're not just beating the sun, you're beating hesitation, you're beating laziness, you're beating that weaker version of yourself that wants to sleep in and avoid responsibility. Most people start their day reacting. They wake up late, they feel rushed, they skip breakfast, they ignore their goals, they waste time. Then they wonder why they're stuck, why they feel behind, why they don't feel proud. It starts with the way you begin your day. You must give your morning power. It's not about being a morning person. It's about being a purpose-driven person. The earlier you rise, the sooner you can take ownership of the time that belongs to you. This isn't about being perfect. This is about showing up before the world expects anything from you. No noise, no distraction, no pressure. Just you and your discipline. That quiet hour in the morning, before messages come in, before the phone rings, before the noise of the world enters, is your time. Time to think, time to plan, time to prepare, time to grow. There is a different feeling in the morning when you wake up with a mission. You're not dragging yourself through the day. You're walking into it with intention. That's where progress comes from. That's where clarity shows up. The early hours are clean. They're untouched by the outside world. And if you don't claim them, someone else will. If you don't structure your time, life will throw its own agenda at you. Now, there's more to waking up early than just setting the alarm. That part is easy. Anyone can set an alarm. The hard part is listening to it. The hard part is getting up when your mind says sleep a little more. You've got to beat that voice. The one that tells you 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. It's lying to you. Every time you listen to it, you lose a little more control. You lose a little more power. But every time you ignore it and stand up anyway, you become stronger. You begin to separate yourself from your past. Now comes the most important part. You don't just wake up early and scroll on your phone. You don't waste that time. You use it. You pour it into the hardest task you've got for that day. The thing you don't want to face. The thing you've been putting off. The thing that feels uncomfortable, heavy, frustrating, or painful. That's the task you must face first. Because if you don't, it controls you. It lingers in your mind all day. It drains your energy. It keeps you distracted. But when you face it head on, something happens. You grow. Conquering the hardest task first is not about pain. It's about progress. It's about proving to yourself that you can do what others won't. Most people run from challenge. They avoid it. They make excuses. They keep themselves busy with the easy things, the tasks that make them feel productive, but don't move them forward. That's a trap. You can stay busy your whole life and never become who you're capable of becoming. If you want to rise, you must do the things that are hard to do. That one hard task. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's making that call. Maybe it's facing the bills. Maybe it's going to the gym. Maybe it's studying. Whatever it is, that's your path to strength. You don't become disciplined by avoiding discomfort. You become disciplined by stepping into it. One task at a time. One decision at a time. When you do the hard task, first thing in the morning, something else changes. Your identity. You start to believe you are capable. You start to believe you can handle more. You walk through your day with a sense of pride. not arrogance. Pride. Quiet. Strong. Inner pride. Because you did what you said you would do. That pride fuels everything else. It changes how you talk, how you walk, how you carry yourself. People can see it. They feel it. You feel it. You didn't wait for motivation. You didn't wait for someone to push you. You pushed yourself. That changes your brain. That rewires your thinking. That builds emotional muscle. That kind of strength doesn't fade. It grows. Now I know it's not easy. You'll be tired some days. You'll have thoughts that try to convince you to stay in bed. But don't listen to those thoughts. They're old. They come from the part of you that doesn't want to grow. That part doesn't care about your goals. That part doesn't care about your future. It just wants comfort. You have to decide what matters more. Comfort or change. You can't have both. Discipline is built when no one's watching. Success is built in the invisible moments. If you only show up when you feel like it, you'll never become consistent. And if you're not consistent, your life will stay the same. The results you want, the goals you have, the respect you crave, it all comes from daily behavior. And that behavior starts the moment you wake up. When your alarm goes off, it's not just a sound, it's a decision. A decision about who you are, a decision about who you're becoming. It's either the old you or the new you. It's either weakness or strength. Every morning is a choice. And that choice sets the tone for the rest of the day. If you're tired of falling behind, tired of watching others pass you, tired of feeling stuck, then you've got to look at how you start your day. Because it's not luck, it's not talent, it's not background, it's structure, it's decision, it's ownership. You can't control everything in life, but you can control how your day begins. Start with the hard thing. Don't wait until you're in the right mood. Don't wait until the pressure builds. Don't wait until someone tells you to do it. Do it because it matters. Do it because it's what strong people do. Do it because you want to look in the mirror and respect the person looking back. You can't earn self-respect by avoiding hard work. You earn it by facing what most people run from. And the sooner you do it each day, the stronger you become. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You stop being reactive. You stop living in fear. You stop blaming the world because you realize you're in control. That task isn't the problem. Your mindset is. And the moment you change it, the task loses its power over you. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to begin. Once you begin, momentum builds. And that's what separates winners from the rest. Not motivation, not money, not talent, but discipline. And discipline is built every time you do what's uncomfortable. Every time you choose growth over excuses. When the world sees you doing the work early in the morning, they respect you. But more importantly, you respect you. And that's where real change starts. You stop lying to yourself. You stop quitting on yourself. You stop hiding behind soft habits. Because now you've proven you can handle what needs to be done. Think about it. How do you want to feel at the end of your day? Drained and disappointed, or strong and satisfied? That feeling is determined by your first decision. You can't change that later. You can't erase a wasted morning. It's gone. But when you start your day right, by waking up early and tackling the hardest thing, everything else becomes easier. Your mind is sharper. Your energy is cleaner. Your confidence is higher. You're not playing catch-up. You're leading. And that's what life rewards leaders. People who lead themselves. People who take control. People who don't wait around for the perfect moment. Because there is no perfect moment. There is only now. There is only this morning, this day, this task. And if you miss it, you lose the chance to grow. No more waiting. No more avoiding. No more blaming. You want a better life. Start earlier. Start stronger. Start with what matters most. Every single day. The hard thing is not your enemy. It's your doorway to a new life. Walk through it. Wake early. Face it. Finish it. And then watch your entire world begin to change. Number 2. Challenge yourself to speak the truth without fearing reactions. Speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Even when it feels risky. Even when the people around you may not like what you have to say. Speak the truth because it builds your strength. Speak it because it teaches you to trust yourself. Speak it because without truth, your life will always feel small, weak, and unsure. Every time you hold back from saying what you really think, you give away your power. You silence yourself, not because you don't know what's right, but because you're afraid of how others will react. That fear controls more people than failure ever will. And it's not always loud. Sometimes it shows up as hesitation. Sometimes it shows up as pretending. Sometimes it shows up as being quiet when you should be speaking up. But it's fear, and it's costing you your potential. You have to understand this. If you're not honest about how you feel, about what you believe, about what matters to you, you'll start to lose touch with who you are. And once that happens, everything else starts to fall apart. Your confidence drops. Your relationships weaken. Your purpose becomes unclear. And it's not because you don't have potential. It's because you've made peace with silence. The truth is not always easy to say. It's not always received well. But it's real, and real has power. People might not always agree with you. They might question you. They might even criticize you. But deep down, they will respect you. Because honesty, especially in a world full of avoidance and pretending, stands out. It creates clarity. It creates trust. It creates identity. If you can't say what needs to be said, your voice loses value, not just to others, but to yourself. You start to doubt your own thoughts. You start to believe it's better to stay small than to take up space with your truth. That's not growth. That's fear in disguise. And fear will never help you build the life you want. Truth-telling is a habit. You train it like a muscle. You begin with the little things. You tell the truth when it's awkward. You speak up when it's easier to nod along. You stand for your values, even when others sit down. And with each step, you gain strength. You become a person who can be counted on, not just by others, but by yourself. You need to become someone who does not betray their voice. Someone who does not hide behind silence. Because the longer you go without being honest, the heavier the lies become. They wear you down. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in your stomach. It drains you. It keeps you tired. Not because you're doing too much, but because you're holding in too much. Stop pleasing everyone. Stop adjusting your truth to make others comfortable. That kind of life may seem easier in the short term, but it will destroy your self-respect in the long run. When you silence your real opinions to avoid conflict, you create conflict within yourself. That's the kind that leads to regret. That's the kind that follows you at night, when you're alone with your thoughts. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to speak when it's not popular. You have to be willing to disagree when everyone else is nodding. You have to be willing to stand in discomfort for the sake of what's right. Because nothing valuable is built on lies. Nothing strong can stand on weak foundations. You might lose a few people by being honest, but you'll find the right ones. People who respect you for who you are, not who you pretend to be. And that makes all the difference. Because when you're surrounded by people who accept your honesty, you no longer need to wear a mask. You can focus all your energy on building, growing, and becoming better. There's no fulfillment in being accepted for a version of yourself that isn't real. No amount of praise or approval will ever make up for the pain of not being true to yourself. And once you taste the freedom that comes with truth, you'll never want to go back. You'll never want to live in fear again. You'll realize that the discomfort of honesty is nothing compared to the pain of living a lie. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to shout. You just need to be direct, clear, unapologetic. You're not doing it to hurt others. You're doing it to free yourself, to build a life that's real, to earn the kind of self-respect that lasts. Because when you tell the truth, you don't just influence others. You remind yourself that your voice matters. The truth has weight. It has impact. And yes, it has risk, but it also has power. And that power grows every time you choose honesty over fear. Every time you refuse to water down your words. Every time you stop editing your thoughts to make someone else feel better. That's when you take a step closer to being who you were meant to be. Think about the people you admire most. The ones who move you. The ones who change the way you see things. They're not the ones who play it safe. They're the ones who speak with conviction, who stand by their beliefs, even when it's not convenient, who don't fold under pressure. That could be you, but only if you're willing to speak the truth without fear of how others react. Every time you lie to avoid discomfort, you sacrifice a piece of your growth. Every time you stay silent when something needs to be said, you stay stuck. And the longer you do it, the harder it gets to break free. But you can change that. You can start now with one conversation, one honest statement, one moment of courage. You can say how you really feel. You can admit when you're wrong. You can stand your ground when you know you're right. You don't have to hide. You don't have to shrink. You don't have to agree just to keep the peace. You have a right to speak, a right to express, a right to live your truth out loud. And you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real. Speak with humility. Speak with strength. Speak with the kind of honesty that lifts the weight off your shoulders. And when the fear rises, and it will, remind yourself that hiding doesn't make life easier. It makes it heavier. People might not like your truth, but they will know where you stand. And that clarity will bring you peace, because you won't be second-guessing every word. You won't be living for their approval. You'll be living from a place of alignment. You'll be proud of who you are, not just when others are around, but when you're alone. Stop fearing their reactions. Start honoring your truth. That's how you grow. That's how you become confident. That's how you rise. Not by pleasing, but by standing strong in your own skin. By showing up every day as someone who refuses to be silenced. Because the real you, the one with opinions, the one with values, the one with standards, is the one the world needs. Not a watered-down version. Not a fake smile. Not an echo of someone else's voice. The world needs the real you. And the real you is brave enough to tell the truth. So practice it. Speak up. Even when your voice shakes. Even when your hands tremble. Even when you're not sure how it will land. Speak anyway. Because that's where freedom lives. That's where character is built. That's where transformation begins. It's not about being loud. It's about being honest. It's about being strong enough to say what needs to be said. Even if it's uncomfortable. Even if it's misunderstood. Even if it's unpopular. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you grow into the person you were designed to become. Speak the truth, not to hurt, but to heal. Not to attack, but to awaken. Not to divide, but to stand firm. Because when you stand for something, you stop falling for everything. And that's the kind of strength that will carry you through anything. So from this day on, make a decision. A real one, a strong one. Challenge yourself every single day to speak the truth. No matter who's watching, no matter who disagrees, no matter what the consequences might be. Because the cost of staying silent is far greater than the cost of being real. And when you finally choose truth over fear, you'll realize you've been waiting your whole life to meet the person you've just become. Number 3, eliminate distractions and protect your focus every day. Focus is the foundation of progress. Without it, you can have the best ideas, the biggest goals, and all the ambition in the world. But nothing moves forward. Every day you are surrounded by things that want your attention. Notifications, opinions, noise, temptations, endless information. And if you don't take control of your focus, those distractions will control you. They will take your time, drain your energy, and pull you away from the life you are trying to build. You don't need more hours, you need more direction. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be present. Your ability to focus, truly focus, will determine the quality of your life. Not your environment, not your background, not your luck, but your ability to shut out what doesn't matter and zero in on what does. Most people are not failing because they don't know what to do. They're failing because they can't stay locked in long enough to finish what matters. They're always switching, always checking, always distracted, always looking for something easier, something faster, something more exciting. That's a trap. Distraction is comfortable. Focus is uncomfortable. And that's exactly why most people avoid it. But if you want to be someone of value, someone who gets results, someone who doesn't just talk about what they're going to do but actually does it, you have to become serious about your focus. You have to protect it like it's everything, because it is. Eliminate the noise. Start with the little things. Turn off notifications. Not just silence them. Turn them off. Stop giving your phone permission to interrupt you. Your mind is not built to jump from one thing to the next all day long. It needs time to settle, to process, to dig deep into one task. And when you're constantly pulled away, your mind becomes scattered. You become anxious. You lose momentum. Stop checking your phone every few minutes. Nothing on that screen is more important than your growth. Nothing on social media is more urgent than your goals. People will survive without instant replies. You're not responsible for entertaining everyone. You're responsible for building your future. You must start seeing your focus as sacred, as something that deserves protection. If someone tried to steal your wallet, you'd fight to keep it. But every day people give away their attention freely, to apps, to mindless content, to gossip, to distractions that serve no purpose. That's the real theft, when you hand over your time for nothing in return. Block time for the things that matter, not just once a week. Every single day, put your phone in another room. Close unnecessary tabs. Set a clear intention before you begin. Tell yourself exactly what you're working on and why it matters. Then stay with it. Stay with it, even when your mind wanders. Stay with it, even when it feels boring. Stay with it, even when no one is watching. You don't need permission to focus. You need discipline. You need to decide that you are no longer available for distraction, that your future matters more than temporary pleasure, that your peace matters more than constant stimulation, that your attention is too valuable to be sold to the highest bidder. Cut out the noise in your environment. If your space is messy, clean it. If your desk is cluttered, clear it. If your routine is chaotic, organize it. You can't focus in a space that overwhelms you. Your mind will reflect what you see around you. And if what you see is chaos, your thoughts will follow. Surround yourself with order. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because your mind works better in a space that's clean and intentional. Create a place where focus thrives, where energy flows, where your goals feel real and your distractions feel distant. Protect your mental space too. That means being careful about what you consume. Be honest with yourself. If something makes you feel worse after watching it, stop watching it. If someone constantly brings negativity into your life, create distance. If a habit keeps you stuck, replace it. You're not obligated to keep feeding what drains you. You can't grow when your mind is filled with garbage. You can't reach new levels if you're constantly reacting to nonsense. You have to create space for ideas, for clarity, for execution. And that space only opens up when you remove what doesn't belong. Stop multitasking. It's not a strength, it's a lie. Your brain is not designed to focus on multiple things at once. What you think is multitasking is just distraction in disguise. You're not doing more, you're doing less with more stress. Focus on one thing at a time, give it everything, then move to the next. That's how you build real progress. Every time you finish a task with deep focus, you become more powerful. You gain self-respect. You realize that you don't need external pressure to perform. You can generate your own momentum. You can push through resistance. You can create results on your own terms. And that's rare. Most people live in reaction mode. They wait for reminders. They wait for deadlines. They wait until it's urgent. Don't be like them. Be someone who creates urgency through purpose. Someone who wakes up with intention. Someone who values their own time enough to use it wisely. If you can master focus, you can master anything. Because now you're not just showing up. You're showing up with full attention. You're not just busy, you're productive. You're not just starting things, you're finishing them. And finishing is what separates success from regret. Make focus your standard. Not something you practice once in a while, but something you demand from yourself every single day. It doesn't matter if you feel like it. It doesn't matter if you're tired. You get up, you sit down, you start the work. You stay with the work. You complete the work. That's what builds self-discipline. That's what builds success. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for silence. Life is noisy. Life is messy. Learn to focus anyway. Train your mind to work through chaos, to stay locked in, even when the world is spinning around you. You owe it to yourself to become a person who can focus, because the world is full of people who can't. And if you can rise above that, you separate yourself. You start to produce more, learn more, grow more. You move faster, not because you rush, but because you're consistent. You get more done in less time. You make fewer mistakes. you build better habits. And this isn't about working all day. It's about being fully engaged during the time you work. 1 hour of focused effort is worth more than 10 hours of distraction. You don't need more time. You need better attention. So from now on, eliminate what pulls you away. Identify your triggers. Know what steals your focus. It could be your phone. It could be noise. It could be boredom. Whatever it is, get ahead of it. Set rules for yourself. Stick to them. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Distraction is the enemy of excellence. And excellence doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you become intentional. When you cut out what doesn't matter. When you stay committed, even when no one's clapping. Even when the results are slow. Even when it would be easier to quit. Make this personal. Make this about your future. Every time you give in to distraction, you delay your potential. But every time you choose focus, you prove to yourself that you're serious about your life. That you're not here to waste time. That you're not just interested in improvement. You're committed to it. Start now. Choose your most important task. Remove what doesn't serve that task. Set a time. Work without interruption. Finish what you start. Then repeat it tomorrow. Then again the next day. This is how you build strength. Not through hype. Not through motivation. But through daily control of your time and energy. Focus isn't a skill you're born with. It's one you train. And the more you train it, the easier it becomes. Soon what used to distract you won't even get your attention. What used to pull you away will lose its power. Because now you know how to guard your mind. You know how to protect your focus. You know how to stay locked in until the job is done. And that's what winners do. They finish. They don't chase everything. They stay true to what matters. They don't follow every noise. They follow their purpose. And they don't make excuses. They make progress. Be that kind of person. Be focused. Be intentional. Be strong. Eliminate distractions. Protect your focus. Do it every single day. And you'll wake up one day with a life you're proud of. Not because you got lucky, but because you mastered the one thing that separates the average from the exceptional focus. Number 4. Read pages daily to build a powerful mind. Read pages daily. Not when it's convenient, not when you're in the mood, but every single day. Because every day that goes by without reading is a missed opportunity to grow your mind. If you want to develop strength up here in your thinking, your judgment, your decisions, you must feed your mind daily. And not just feed it anything. Feed it wisdom, feed it substance, feed it knowledge that moves you forward and makes you better. Reading isn't about finishing books to look smart. It's about building a foundation for a better life. When you read, you expose yourself to new ideas. You learn how others think. You understand how problems are solved. You get insight into how the great thinkers of the world move forward through difficulty, through pain, through setbacks. Those lessons live inside pages, and you'll never access them unless you commit yourself to reading consistently. Think about how much junk enters your mind every day. Useless content, negative news, pointless opinions. You don't even have to ask for it, it shows up. And without realizing it, you're letting your mind fill up with thoughts that weaken you, that make you doubt, that distract you, that hold you back. The only way to fight that is to intentionally feed your mind something better. And that's where reading comes in. Reading gives you a clear edge. It sharpens your thinking. It strengthens your focus. It teaches you patterns. You begin to notice how problems are connected. You see solutions others miss. You don't need to memorize everything. That's not the point. What matters is how reading shapes your mind day after day. It gives you better questions to ask. It helps you look deeper. It helps you slow down, think clearer, and respond with wisdom, not emotion. Reading gives you tools. Tools you can use when life gets hard, because it will get hard. And when it does, the last thing you want is a mind full of noise. You want a mind that's strong, calm, and prepared. You want a mind that has trained itself through reading to handle pressure without falling apart. And that strength isn't built in one day. It's built slowly, page by page. Start small. Even 5 pages a day adds up. You don't need to read a whole book in one sitting, but you do need to show up daily. Even when it feels like you're not learning much. Even when it feels slow. Even when you're tired. show up anyway. That's how discipline is built. That's how great minds are formed. The most powerful people I've ever met all have one thing in common. They read. They're not guessing. They're not winging it. They're studying. They're learning. They're improving. They don't rely only on experience. They use books to gain insight from others who've walked different paths. That's what reading gives you: perspective. The ability to see beyond your current situation, to rise above your circumstances, to challenge your assumptions. Reading makes you wiser, not just smarter, wiser. Smarts will help you get a job. Wisdom will help you build a meaningful life. Smarts can help you solve problems. Wisdom will help you avoid them in the first place. And wisdom doesn't come from scrolling or talking. It comes from reflection. And reading gives you that reflection. When you read, you spend time with thinkers who've poured their life into pages. They've made mistakes. They've learned lessons. They've condensed decades of insight into something you can hold in your hand. Why would you ignore that? Why would you choose mindless entertainment over real, lasting growth? Reading teaches you focus. It demands your attention. It trains your mind to stay in one place long enough to grasp what matters. In a world that keeps pulling your focus in 100 directions, reading trains you to slow down, to go deep, to think for yourself. And that is rare. Most people consume content passively. They just take in what's given. But when you read, you become an active thinker. You begin to ask, what does this mean to me? How can I apply this? How does this help me become better? Read with purpose. Don't just pick up any book. Be selective. Find books that match your goals. Books that stretch your thinking. Books that challenge your habits. Books that hold you accountable. And once you find them, read slowly. Take notes. Write down what stands out. Reflect on how you can apply what you've read in your daily life. That's how real growth happens. Not just by reading, but by acting on what you read. You don't need fancy programs or expensive courses to grow your mind. You need discipline. You need commitment. You need to say to yourself, I will feed my mind every day, no matter what. That simple decision will separate you from the crowd, because most people won't do it. They'll say they don't have time. They'll say it's boring. They'll make excuses. But the truth is, they just haven't decided that their future is worth it. Reading gives you language. And with better language, you can better express yourself. You can explain your thoughts with clarity. You can understand others with empathy. You can lead with strength. Without the right words, you can feel stuck, even if you know what you want to say. Reading unlocks that ability. It gives you the tools to communicate with power. Read books on discipline. Read books on money. Read books on health. Read books on mindset. Read books that help you think independently. Read books that give you strategies, not just stories. Because stories inspire you for a moment. Strategies change your life for years. Read to become dangerous in the right way. Dangerous in your ability to think. Dangerous in your ability to plan. Dangerous in your ability to stay calm while others panic. That level of power only comes to people who've invested in their minds. Not once, but every single day. There will be days when you don't feel like reading. Days when it seems like you're too tired or too distracted. Read anyway, even one page, even one sentence, because that one sentence could shift your thinking. That one sentence could help you make a better decision. That one sentence could remind you of who you're trying to become. Every great transformation begins in the mind, and every mind that's ever changed the world was first fed by books. Reading is not a chore. It's not homework. It's a decision to grow. It's a way to stay ahead, a way to stay sharp, a way to stay ready. And readiness is everything. You can't wait for the perfect time to grow. You grow now. You grow today. You grow with the pages in front of you. Make reading a part of your identity. Don't just say, I read sometimes. Say, I'm a reader. Someone who values growth. Someone who values truth. Someone who refuses to stay the same. And if you're consistent, that identity becomes real. You'll start to see the change in your words, in your confidence, in your ability to handle problems. You won't be easily shaken. You'll have depth. You'll have clarity. You'll have strength. Reading daily doesn't just build a powerful mind. It protects it from noise, from negativity, from small thinking. You create a shield around your thoughts. You become intentional about what you allow in. And that is the beginning of personal freedom. Freedom from confusion. Freedom from doubt. Freedom from relying on others to tell you what to think. This is not about reading fast. It's about reading with focus, with purpose, with hunger. You don't have to read what everyone else is reading. Find what challenges you. Find what stretches your current thinking. And then stay with it. Learn from it. Grow from it. In time, you'll notice you think clearer. You'll make better decisions. You'll respond with wisdom instead of emotion. And it won't be because someone trained you. It'll be because you trained yourself. Through books, through discipline, through daily practice. You don't need a classroom to learn. You need a quiet space, a good book, and the decision to improve. The answers are already written. The insights already exist. All that's left is for you to read them. Make time. Build the habit. Read even when you're tired. Read even when you're busy. Read even when others don't. Because what you read today becomes who you are. Tomorrow, page by page, thought by thought. That's how you grow a mind that can handle anything. Don't wait. Pick up the book. Open the page. Feed your mind. And never stop. Number 5. Exercise intensely to energize body and spirit daily. Move your body every day like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. You don't need fancy gear, expensive memberships, or perfect routines. What you need is effort, intensity, consistency. If your body is tired, your mind will follow. If your body is weak, your energy will drop. And when your energy drops, so does your drive, your discipline, and your ability to think clearly. Exercise is not about appearance. It's about building power inside that shows up outside. Every day your body is either being strengthened or broken down. There's no standing still. If you're not putting in the effort to energize yourself, you're slowly falling behind. Movement creates momentum, and momentum creates progress. Without it, you stay stuck. You stay sluggish. You stay average. The truth is, your physical state directly impacts your mental state. When you push your body hard, your emotions shift. You stop feeling heavy. You start feeling alive. Your problems don't go away with exercise, but you become stronger to face them. You can't think clearly if your body is full of tension, fatigue, and weakness. Intense physical movement clears your head. It resets your emotions. It brings your spirit back into alignment. That energy you're looking for isn't in a cup of coffee or another break. It's in the sweat you avoid. The intensity you resist is exactly what you need. No one feels like working out every day. That's not the point. You don't wait for motivation. You build discipline by showing up when it's the last thing you want to do. The days when you feel drained are the days you need it most. Because when you finish, when your heart is pounding and your breath is sharp and your muscles are burning, something shifts. You walk differently. You think differently. You feel like you can take on more. That's not a coincidence. That's biology, discipline, and commitment working together. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need perfect form. You just need to move with intensity. Push your limits. Get your heart rate up. Feel the discomfort, because that discomfort is growth. That burn is a signal that you're changing, that you're breaking through limits. And those limits aren't just physical. They're mental, emotional, spiritual. You don't train just for muscles. You train for clarity, for confidence, for character. Most people think of exercise as a chore. That mindset guarantees they'll never stick with it. You must see it as fuel, as something sacred, as a way to honor your life, not punish your body. Your body is not the enemy. It's your tool. And the stronger that tool becomes, the more you can do in this world. If you feel low on energy all the time, look at your activity. Energy isn't just something you wake up with. It's something you earn through movement and challenge. Your mind gets sharper after intense training. Your emotional state stabilizes. You're less reactive, more calm, more centered. You handle stress with more control. You don't fall apart at the first sign of adversity. And it's not because life got easier. It's because you got tougher. Every time you finish a hard workout, you build that toughness. It's internal. It's invisible to most people. But you feel it. You carry it into every part of your life. Make it part of your identity. Not something you try, something you live. You're someone who trains. You're someone who moves. You're someone who demands more from yourself. And when you live like that, your entire presence changes. People can sense your strength, not because you talk about it, but because you live it. The discipline you build and exercise transfers everywhere. When you can do one more rep, when your body says stop, you learn to do one more hour of work, when your mind feels tired. When you run that extra mile, you learn to push through a difficult conversation or a stressful moment. You stop quitting early. You stop making excuses. You stop relying on comfort because you've taught yourself how to endure. Your body doesn't just carry you, it reflects how you live. If you treat it like an afterthought, your whole life feels sluggish. But if you prioritize it, if you take care of it, everything else begins to improve. Your sleep, your mood, your mindset, your productivity, every one of those things is deeply connected to your physical activity. There are no shortcuts, no secret workouts, no one-size-fits-all routine. What matters is intensity. What matters is effort. What matters is consistency. Even 20 minutes a day of pushing yourself hard can change your life. The goal is not perfection. The goal is intensity and repetition, day in, day out, no matter what else is going on. You want to feel better? Move. You want more focus? Move. You want to change your habits? Move. Waiting for motivation will leave you stuck for years. But once you commit to movement, the motivation shows up afterward. Most people have it backwards. They wait until they feel good to move. You move first, and then you feel good. The reason people stay in low energy states is because they never interrupt the cycle. They sit, they scroll, they complain, they wait. But your body was never designed to be still all day. Your body wants to be tested. It was built to climb, run, lift, push, stretch. And when you start doing those things again, you start to wake up parts of yourself that have been sleeping for too long. You don't have to be extreme, but you have to be intentional. Make your workout your anchor. Make it the time in your day when everything else disappears. No distractions, no phone, no noise, just you and your effort. You versus yesterday's version of you. That's what training is. It's a conversation with yourself about how far you're willing to go. Not for others, but for you. Your spirit needs that push. Your energy is hiding behind resistance. It's not that you're lazy, it's that your spirit hasn't been awakened in too long. You've forgotten what it feels like to feel alive in your body. The aches, the sweat, the breathlessness, that's what makes you feel real. That's what clears the fog. That's what reconnects you with your strength. Training isn't about punishing yourself. It's about showing yourself what's possible. You'll never know how strong you are until you put yourself through something difficult and come out stronger. That sense of pride, that's earned. You don't buy it. You don't talk your way into it. You build it, repetition after repetition, breath after breath, day after day. And when you make that non-negotiable, everything else starts to make sense. You don't spiral as often. You don't feel lost because you've got something steady, something real, a place where your effort meets results, a space where the only thing that matters is how hard you're willing to push. You start to demand more from yourself, not just in the gym, but in your habits, your work, your attitude. You stop tolerating laziness. You stop letting excuses run your life because you know what effort feels like. You know what pain for progress feels like. And once you've tasted that, you don't settle for easy anymore. There will be days when you're sore, days when you're tired, days when your body feels heavy. Move anyway. Don't skip it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't let your feelings decide your future. Show up and move your body with force. Show up and prove that your spirit is stronger than your comfort. You don't have to love every second of it, but you must respect the process. You must understand that growth doesn't happen in convenience. It happens in effort. It happens in discomfort. It happens when you choose to act anyway. No one can do this for you. No one can move your body but you. No one can give you the feeling of pride that comes after a hard workout. That's yours, earned by you, built by your commitment. And that's why it's so powerful, because no one can take it away from you. You want clarity. You want confidence. You want to wake up with a sense of strength instead of stress. Train your body daily. Push yourself hard. Make it a lifestyle, not something you do once in a while. something you live, something you embody, something you protect. Your energy is your responsibility. If you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or uninspired, look at your physical routine. The body carries the mind. If the body is neglected, the mind suffers. If the body is empowered, the mind becomes sharper. They are connected, and you cannot separate them. Start simple. Body weight workouts, running, lifting, high-intensity circuits, anything that challenges you and makes you sweat. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to move like it matters, because it does. And when you do this every day, even when it's hard, even when it's cold, even when your schedule is full, you begin to transform. Not just physically, internally, emotionally, spiritually. Because the person who trains every day is not the same as the person who avoids hard things. You become reliable. You become resilient. You become someone who gets it done, regardless of the circumstances. That identity is what pushes you forward when everything else feels like it's pulling you back. So wake up, gear up, and move your body with intensity every single day. Not for others, not for likes, but for yourself, for your future, for your energy, for your peace, for your strength. It's all connected. You want to win in life, then win in your workouts. That's where it begins. That's where it's earned. That's where the real power is built. Number 6, choose gratitude even in difficult daily moments. Especially when life gets difficult. Especially when things aren't going your way. Gratitude is a decision you make, not a reward you earn. And if you only choose it when everything is good, you're missing the entire point. Real gratitude begins when life gets uncomfortable, when plans fail, when emotions rise, when nothing feels right. That's where it becomes a discipline. That's where it separates the weak from the strong. You don't grow by avoiding pain. You grow by learning how to stay grounded in the middle of it. And gratitude is how you stay grounded. When your mind wants to complain, when your emotions want to lash out, when your patience runs out, you stop and you choose to look at what you still have. That's not denial. That's strength. That's maturity. That's you taking responsibility for your energy instead of handing it over to the situation. There's no power in focusing on what's wrong. Anyone can point out what's missing. Anyone can talk about how unfair things are. But that doesn't change anything. What changes things is your mindset, and your mindset becomes stronger every time you choose gratitude over negativity. Start small. Don't wait for the big things. Practice it now. When you wake up, be grateful you have a day to live. When you're stuck in traffic, be grateful you have a destination. When you're tired, be grateful you have something to work on. It's simple, it's direct, and it works. Because the moment you shift your focus, you shift your experience. You're no longer a victim. You're a student. You're not just going through life. You're learning from it. People think gratitude is soft, that it's for people who settle. That couldn't be further from the truth. Gratitude is discipline. Gratitude is control. Gratitude is the mindset of someone who refuses to be shaken by circumstance. When everyone else is complaining, you're learning. When others give up, you're still standing. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens because you've trained your mind to look for something to hold on to, even when things are falling apart. There's a kind of power that shows up when you look at hardship and still say, I'm thankful. Not thankful for the pain, but thankful for what the pain is teaching you. Thankful that you get the chance to face something hard. Thankful that this moment is shaping you. That kind of mindset doesn't just help you survive. It makes you stronger than you've ever been. Most people only feel grateful when life hands them something easy. But that's not real strength. That's not growth. That's just comfort. You don't grow in comfort. You grow when it's hard to smile. And you smile anyway. When it's easier to give up, but you stay the course. When life is pressing in, and you refuse to let it steal your peace. If you want to be free, if you want to live with real peace inside, you need to start owning your responses. Stop blaming the outside. Start managing the inside. You can't always control what happens, but you can always choose how you see it. And that choice determines the quality of your days, not your income, not your environment, but your internal world. When you live with gratitude, you're not saying life is perfect. You're saying you're still in control. You're saying you have power over your focus. You're saying you're not just reacting, you're responding. That mindset brings clarity. It brings peace. It brings a level of strength that no external situation can take away from you. Gratitude keeps your ego in check. It reminds you that life is a gift, not a guarantee. That what you have now, your health, your time, your mind, none of it is promised. When you live with that awareness, you stop taking things for granted. You stop expecting ease. You start appreciating the present moment. You begin to carry yourself with more humility, more grace, more strength. When you go through something painful, gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it gives it purpose. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, what can I learn from this? That small shift in language opens your mind. It gives you space to breathe. It helps you stay focused on solutions instead of sinking into self-pity. Every day is a chance to either grow stronger or grow bitter. Gratitude is what pushes you towards strength. Bitterness keeps you stuck. You can't be bitter and grateful at the same time. One always pushes the other out. And every day in every situation, you're choosing which one wins. People who practice gratitude don't live easier lives. They live with more direction. They see what others miss. They find peace where others find problems. That doesn't mean they ignore reality. It means they look for what's useful in that reality, what they can take with them, what they can grow from. That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you mentally strong, even when life is falling apart around you. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It's not a mood. It's a way of seeing, a way of thinking, a way of choosing what you give your attention to. It's easy to focus on what's wrong. It's easy to feel sorry for yourself, but none of that builds you. What builds you is looking around and saying, what do I still have? What can I still use? Who can I still help? That's gratitude in action. When you practice it daily, your emotional baseline changes. You stop reacting with frustration to small things. You stop being offended by everything. You stop spiraling when life gets hard. Instead, you become steady. You become calm. You become grounded. Not because life is easy, but because you've trained your mind to stay balanced no matter what happens. You won't always feel like being grateful, and that's when it matters most. It's easy to say thank you when things go well. It's harder when you're hurting. But that's where the real growth is. That's where you change. That's where you prove to yourself that your emotions don't run your life. You do. Make it a habit. Write down 3 things every day that you're thankful for. Say them out loud. Feel them. Let them sink in. And don't just pick the obvious things. Be specific. Be real. Be honest. Maybe it's the fact that you woke up. Maybe it's a lesson you learned the hard way. Maybe it's the person who stood by you when you were at your lowest. Find something every day. No matter how difficult life feels, you'll start to see patterns. You'll start to notice that your life is not empty. That even in the middle of difficulty, there's still something meaningful. And when you train your mind to look for that, it starts showing up more and more. Your focus shifts. Your perspective widens. Your peace deepens. Gratitude doesn't remove your responsibility to take action. It's not an excuse to stay still. It's a tool you use to move forward with clarity. It removes the emotional fog. It helps you see what you still control. And with that clarity, you act, you move, you build, you push forward. Not out of panic, but out of peace. Don't let your emotions dictate how you see the world. Let your mindset guide your emotions. And that begins with gratitude. You'll find yourself handling stress better. You'll find yourself speaking differently, thinking differently, living differently. Not because everything changed, but because you did. You become less reactive. You don't explode over the small things. You respond with strength. You begin to notice how far you've come. You appreciate your journey instead of always looking at what's left to do. That gives you momentum. That gives you energy. That gives you a sense of quiet power that most people never develop. Make this a daily practice, not a seasonal one. Not something you remember when it's Thanksgiving. Do it when it's hard. Do it when your plans fall apart. Do it when you feel tired, overwhelmed, discouraged. That's when it works. That's when it's needed most. Choosing gratitude daily is how you rise above your circumstances. It's how you stop waiting for perfect conditions. It's how you stop complaining, stop blaming, stop wasting time on thoughts that don't serve you. Gratitude cuts through all that. It gets to the heart of what matters. It reminds you that your life right now still holds value. Even in the middle of pain, even in the middle of stress, even in the middle of uncertainty, there's still something here to be thankful for. there's still something here that can make you stronger. There's still something here that you can learn from. This is your responsibility. No one can give you this mindset. You have to choose it. You have to train it. You have to remind yourself every day that you are not powerless. You are not helpless. You are not at the mercy of life. You are in control of how you see, of how you think, of how you respond. And every day you choose gratitude. Even in the smallest things, you make yourself stronger. You build resilience. You create space between reaction and response. And in that space, you grow, you change, you rise. So no matter what today brings, find something to appreciate. Not because life is easy, but because you are focused, because you are responsible, because you are ready to rise. Not only when life feels good, but especially when it doesn't. That's real power. That's the mindset of someone who refuses to give up. That's what will carry you through anything. Number 7, set boundaries and confidently say no without guilt. Saying no is not selfish. Setting boundaries is not rude. Both are necessary if you want to build a meaningful life. You cannot give your time, your energy, and your attention to everything and everyone without a cost. The people who achieve clarity, peace, and focus in their lives are the ones who know what they will not tolerate. They're the ones who say no when others expect a yes. They're the ones who protect their time and energy like it actually matters, because it does. Too many people feel trapped by the opinions of others. They're afraid to disappoint, afraid to be misunderstood, afraid to be judged. So they say yes when they mean no. They agree to things they resent. They keep giving, even when they're exhausted. That's not kindness. That's avoidance. That's fear wearing a polite mask. And that fear is what's keeping them stuck. You don't need to explain every decision. You don't owe everyone an answer. If something doesn't align with your values, your energy, or your goals, you have the right to say no with confidence, with respect, with zero guilt. Because when you say no to what drains you, you say yes to what builds you. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors with locks. You get to decide who comes in, how long they stay, and what kind of energy they bring. And if someone doesn't respect that, you don't bend, you reinforce. Because the people who truly value you will respect your space, your limits, and your choices. If you don't set boundaries, your life gets filled with things that don't matter. You lose control of your time. You lose control of your peace. You become reactive instead of intentional. That leads to frustration, resentment, burnout. Not because you're weak, but because you're constantly giving parts of yourself to things that don't feed your growth. You can't build anything meaningful if your time is always being hijacked. You can't find focus if you're constantly interrupted. You can't feel confident if you're always bending to please others. You must learn to hold your ground. You must learn to speak up. You must learn to choose yourself. Not once, but every single day. People will test your boundaries. They will question your decisions. Some will take it personally. That's okay. Let them. Your job is not to manage their emotions. Your job is to protect your priorities. If you base every decision on how others feel, you'll never get anywhere. You'll always be in someone else's story, instead of writing your own. The word no is a complete sentence. You don't have to soften it. You don't have to delay it. You don't have to fill it with guilt. You say it, and you move on. The more you practice this, the easier it gets. At first, you'll feel the pressure to explain, to apologize, to make it sound nicer. But over time, you'll start to feel the power of owning your choices without fear. Saying no doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. It means you've decided what matters and what doesn't. It means you value your time enough to protect it. It means you're not willing to sacrifice your peace for the comfort of others. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. If you allow constant interruptions, people will continue to interrupt. If you keep saying yes to things that drain you, they'll keep asking. It's not their fault, it's yours. You trained them by what you tolerated. But the good news is, you can untrain them. You can shift the way people interact with you. It starts with one decision, one clear no, one moment of strength. And once you show people you're serious, they adjust. Not all of them will like it, but the right ones will respect it. And that's how you start attracting better people into your life, by becoming a better gatekeeper of your own space. You need to get comfortable being misunderstood. You need to be okay with not being liked by everyone. You need to stop trying to explain yourself to people who've already made up their minds. Because the more you try to please the world, the more you betray yourself. Every yes you give should come from alignment, not obligation. If you're saying yes to avoid guilt, that yes is going to cost you. It's going to pull you away from your priorities. It's going to take energy from the things that actually matter. And over time, that creates internal chaos. You begin to feel like your life is not your own. That's not because others are too demanding. It's because you never learned how to say no. You are not responsible for managing everyone's needs. You are responsible for managing your time, your emotions, and your focus. And if that means saying no to invitations, requests, expectations, then so be it. If that means stepping away from certain people, then so be it. If that means putting your own peace first, then so be it. This doesn't mean you stop being kind. It means you stop being a doormat. It means you stop stretching yourself so thin just to avoid conflict. Real strength is not in how much you can endure. Real strength is in knowing when to stop giving, when to say enough, when to draw the line. You are not here to fix everyone. You are not here to say yes to everything. You are not here to prove your worth by being available all the time. You are here to grow, to build, to protect your energy, to fulfill your purpose. And anything that pulls you away from that, no matter how small, deserves a boundary. Learn to pause before you say yes. Ask yourself, is this serving me? Is this aligned with my values? Is this something I actually want to do, or something I'm afraid not to do? Your answers will tell you everything you need to know. Don't ignore them. Listen. Trust your inner voice. It's there to guide you. Boundaries will feel uncomfortable at first. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to question if you're being too harsh. You're going to wonder if you're losing people. But that discomfort is temporary. The peace that comes afterward is lasting. And once you feel that peace, you'll never want to go back. Boundaries aren't about control. They're about clarity. You're not trying to change others. You're deciding how you will respond to their behavior. And that decision gives you freedom, because now you're not living in reaction. You're living in intention. People may try to push your limits. They may guilt you. They may test your commitment. That's not your problem. That's their discomfort. And it's okay for people to feel uncomfortable. You don't have to carry that weight. You carry enough already. Start small. Say no to one thing that doesn't serve you. Practice it. Hold your ground. Watch how your confidence grows. Then build from there. The more you do it, the more you start trusting yourself. The more you begin to realize that you don't need to be everything for everyone. You just need to be true to yourself. Your time is not unlimited. Your energy is not endless. Every yes must be earned. And the only way to make space for the right things is to remove the wrong ones. That means learning to say no with strength, with conviction, without second guessing, without apology. If you want a life of meaning, you must stop living for the approval of others. Approval is temporary. Purpose is permanent. Choose purpose. Choose clarity. Choose boundaries that protect your time, your energy, your well-being. You can still love people and say no. You can still support others without sacrificing your own peace. You can still show up for the world without abandoning yourself. That's balance. That's maturity. That's power. You are allowed to say no to invitations, conversations, expectations, roles and relationships that no longer fit who you are becoming. You are allowed to grow beyond your old obligations. You are allowed to stop explaining yourself to people who never cared to understand you in the first place. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. You no longer flinch when someone pushes back. You no longer fear their disappointment. You stand tall. You stay firm. You remember who you are and what matters to you. And in that strength you find peace, not from the outside but from the inside. You are not selfish for protecting your peace. You are not mean for creating distance. You are not cold for choosing yourself. You are finally being responsible. Responsible for your growth. Responsible for your energy. Responsible for the life you're building. And when you look back, you won't regret the times you said no. You'll regret the times you said yes when your soul was screaming for you to say no. That's where the damage comes from. Not from rejection, but from self-abandonment. So stand tall, speak clearly, say no when it's right, say yes when it's real. Live with boundaries, live with focus, live with strength. And know this, you are not here to please everyone. You are here to grow into the strongest, clearest, most grounded version of yourself. And that begins with one small, powerful word, no. Number 8, eat clean foods daily to sharpen your mental clarity. Your mind is only as sharp as what you feed your body. If you want clarity in your thoughts, control over your decisions, and energy to take action, it starts with what goes on your plate. You can't eat junk every day and expect to feel clear, focused, and strong. It doesn't work like that. Your brain depends on nutrients. Your mood depends on nutrients. Your energy depends on nutrients. And every time you eat, you're either fueling your focus or feeding your fog. When you eat clean, you think better. You move better. You respond better. Your reactions slow down. Your patience increases. You're not irritated for no reason. You're not drained halfway through the day. You're not snapping at people or zoning out in conversations. That's not just emotional, it's nutritional. And if you've never cleaned up your eating consistently, you don't even know how powerful your mind can be. You can't expect high performance from a body and brain that are running on processed garbage. You can't fill your system with sugar, grease, chemicals, and empty calories, and then wonder why your focus is all over the place. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're just undernourished. And that's something you can change starting today. Eat clean to think clear, not as a diet, not as a short-term fix, as a way of life, as a daily decision to fuel your mind and protect your body. This is not about losing weight. This is about gaining control. This is about feeling stable in your emotions, sharp in your decisions, and strong in your choices. Most people wait until something breaks, until their health crashes, until they're overwhelmed with anxiety, until they feel stuck and heavy and frustrated. Then they start looking for solutions. But by that point, they've built months or years of poor habits that cloud their thinking and slow their body down. The time to start is before you feel the crash. The time to clean up your food is now, while your mind still has enough awareness to make a different choice. What you eat affects how you feel, not just physically, but mentally. That brain fog you deal with in the afternoon, that crashing energy, that lack of motivation, so much of it comes from poor nutrition. You eat the wrong foods, your blood sugar spikes, your focus drops, your mood swings, and suddenly your whole day feels off. But you call it stress, you call it burnout, you call it overthinking, when in reality part of it is just what you're putting in your body. Your brain needs clean fuel, natural food, real food, food with nutrients, not chemicals, food that nourishes, not numbs. And when you start giving your brain what it needs, you notice the difference fast. You wake up with energy. You focus longer. You don't need 3 cups of coffee just to feel alive. You don't need to fight through fog every time you try to concentrate. It feels like you finally have access to the full power of your mind. Clean food helps you stay in control of your emotions. You don't swing from calm to irritated for no reason. You don't feel anxious without cause. You don't sit in indecision all day. Your mind becomes a tool you can use. Instead of a storm you're stuck inside. That stability is worth more than any quick snack. That clarity is worth more than any sugar rush. That energy is worth more than any comfort food. And the truth is, it's not hard to eat clean. It just takes a decision. It takes awareness. It takes the willingness to say, I'm not going to keep numbing myself with food, because that's what many people are doing. They're not eating because they're hungry. They're eating because they're tired, bored, sad, stressed, or disconnected. And instead of facing those emotions, they reach for food that makes them forget. But you can't solve emotional problems with processed food. You can't build mental strength with a weak diet. You have to choose differently. You have to take control back. You have to start asking yourself, Is this food helping me or hurting me? Is this feeding my focus or killing it? Is this clearing my mind or clouding it? That 1 second of awareness can change your whole day. Start simple. Whole foods, vegetables, protein, healthy fats, water. Cut down the sugar. Cut down the processed junk. Eat food that grows. Eat food that your body knows how to use. You don't need to count every calorie. You just need to be honest with yourself. You know what clean eating looks like. You know when you're choosing comfort over clarity. What you need is the discipline to act on that knowledge. And no, it won't feel easy at first. Your body is used to the quick hits, the instant dopamine, the sugar spikes. Your brain has been trained to crave that comfort. But if you push through the first few days, everything starts to shift. The cravings die down. Your hunger becomes real hunger. Your energy balances. Your focus comes back online. Clean food is not just about nutrition. It's about identity. It's about saying, I'm the kind of person who fuels their life intentionally. I'm not here to survive the day. I'm here to win the day. That starts with what you eat. Because if you can't control what you put into your mouth, how can you control anything else? If you give in every time your emotions get loud, how can you expect to stay disciplined in your goals? Your meals are practice for your mindset. Every time you choose what's good for you over what's easy, you build that mental muscle. Every time you say no to the comfort and yes to the fuel, you strengthen your will. And that strength carries into every other area of your life. You don't just eat better, you think better. You decide faster. You recover quicker. You stop sabotaging your progress with your habits. And here's the thing, no one needs to see it. No one needs to applaud it. You do it because you respect yourself. You do it because you're serious about your life. You do it because you know that energy is everything. And the cleaner your food, the more energy you have to show up at your highest level. Stop calling it a diet. Stop turning it into a short-term fix. Start living like someone who values their mental clarity. Start fueling your brain like you plan to do something great with it. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about waking up every day and choosing the foods that sharpen your focus instead of dulling your edge. Every meal is a decision, a chance to either move closer to clarity or further into confusion, a chance to either strengthen your body or slow it down, a chance to either fuel your potential or numb your pain. You choose, no one forces it. No one feeds you without your permission. Clean eating is not about never enjoying food. It's about choosing long-term strength over short-term relief. It's about building a life where you feel good more often than not, where your energy is stable, where your thinking is sharp, where your actions match your ambition. It's hard to be productive when your energy crashes every afternoon. It's hard to stay calm when your body is inflamed. It's hard to stay disciplined when your system is constantly being thrown out of balance. Your mental clarity is not just about meditation and motivation. It's about biology, and biology is influenced heavily by nutrition. The moment you start seeing clean food as a tool for performance, everything changes. It's no longer about taste alone. It's about impact. How does this make me feel an hour from now? How does this help me show up in the world? How does this improve the way I think, decide, create, and live? Eat with intention. Eat like your future depends on it, because it does. You don't need to change everything overnight, but you need to start today. Replace one meal. Remove one toxic habit. Add one powerful nutrient. Build from there. You're not chasing perfection. You're building momentum. The more clean food you eat, the more your body thanks you. You recover faster. You sleep deeper. You wake up clearer. And you begin to crave the lifestyle that supports your goals. Junk food begins to feel like it doesn't fit who you are anymore. It loses its appeal. Not because someone told you to stop eating it, but because you outgrew it. You're not just changing your body, you're upgrading your entire system. You're becoming someone who doesn't need to rely on fake energy. Someone who doesn't get pulled down by brain fog. Someone who doesn't crash emotionally halfway through the day. That version of you exists on the other side of consistent clean eating. This isn't complicated. It's not about trends. It's about self-respect. Every meal is a message you send to yourself. I care about my mind. I care about my energy. I care about how I show up in this world. And when you eat like that, when you live like that, you start to see results in every area of your life. You don't need to wait until your health forces you to change. You don't need to hit rock bottom to start making better choices. You just need to decide that your clarity, your energy, and your focus are worth protecting. Starting now. One clean meal at a time. One better decision at a time. That's how you take control. That's how you level up. That's how you build a sharp, strong, clear mind that can handle anything life throws at it. Number 9. Write goals daily and commit fully without compromise. Write your goals down every single day, not once a year, not when you feel motivated, not when someone reminds you. Do it every day. Because when you write them down daily, you remind yourself of who you are, where you're going, and what matters most. Life is loud. Distractions are constant. Pressure is everywhere. And if you don't take the time to lock in your direction, you'll get pulled in 1,000 different ones that don't belong to you. You'll end up busy and exhausted, but not fulfilled. Writing your goals daily brings clarity. It clears the mental fog. It keeps you centered. It gives your time purpose and your decisions structure. You need goals to stay alive inside, not just to chase results, but to wake up with fire. Without a goal, you're reactive. You let the day decide who you'll be. But when you have a goal, a real one, and you write it down in your own words, you take responsibility. That small act becomes a declaration. You're saying, this is where I'm headed. This is what I will create. This is who I will become. And the more often you write it, the more real it becomes in your mind. You cannot drift into success. You must direct yourself there. The moment you stop being intentional, you start being influenced. Other people's opinions, their expectations, their plans, they start shaping your life more than your own vision. And that's where regret grows. It starts the day you stop owning your direction. It starts the day you stop writing your goals and start just going with the flow. The flow leads nowhere. Writing your goals daily is not about obsession. It's about ownership. You don't need to write pages. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to be specific and real. Not vague wishes, clear outcomes, detailed steps, timelines, targets. And every time you write them, read them back to yourself. Hear your own voice. Speak your vision. That repetition burns it into your thinking. Your mind starts to organize your behavior around what you keep reminding it. If you skip days, you forget. If you forget, you drift. If you drift, you become like most people, tired, unsure, stuck in a loop. But when your goals are written and present, your standards rise. You don't just react to life. You take control. You stop settling for distractions. You stop wasting energy. You stop negotiating with your excuses. Don't treat your goals like a casual to-do list. Treat them like a commitment, something permanent, something non-negotiable. When you commit fully, you stop giving yourself backup plans. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop quitting early, and that's when progress actually begins. You go further, not because the world changed, but because you changed. Half commitment ruins more potential than failure ever will. When you're halfway in, you get halfway results. You can't succeed at something you're not fully committed to. And commitment is not a feeling. It's not about being excited all the time. It's a decision. A choice you make once and reinforce daily. The days you don't feel like writing are the most important. Because on those days, it would be easy to forget who you're becoming. It would be easy to lower your standards. It would be easy to go back to your old patterns. But writing your goals reminds you that the old you is gone. You have work to do. You have growth to chase. You have a future to build. Write your goals first thing in the morning, before the noise, before the pressure, before the distractions. That's your time to align. That's your time to focus. That's your time to set the tone. If you start your day by writing what matters, the rest of the day follows with intention. You don't wander, you aim. Some people will say writing your goals is unnecessary, that thinking about them is enough. That's false. Thinking is temporary. Writing is commitment. Thinking fades. Writing lasts. Thoughts come and go. Written goals stay in front of you. They remind you. They guide you. They push you when your feelings try to pull you away. Commitment means doing what you said you would do, long after the mood you said it in has faded. That's where growth happens. That's where the gap between intention and action closes. You stop living in wishful thinking and start living with direction. You stop wondering and start creating. That's what happens when you write daily and commit fully. Don't write goals to impress others. Write them to direct your actions. You are not here to prove yourself to the world. You are here to create your own results, your own meaning, your own version of success. And that won't come from hoping. It comes from doing. Every goal you write must be followed by action. It's not the writing alone that changes you. It's the discipline it creates. If you keep writing the same goals and nothing is changing, look at your actions. Are you working with urgency? Are you eliminating what gets in the way? Are you staying consistent even when progress is slow? Your results don't lie. They will always show you how serious you are. If the results are weak, the commitment is weak. Goals are not wishes. They are demands. They are targets with teeth. And when you commit without compromise, everything changes. You stop delaying. You stop making excuses. You stop quitting when it gets tough. You stay with it. You adjust when needed. But you never let go. That's the kind of fire that creates momentum. That's the kind of discipline that builds legacy. You don't rise because you're lucky. You rise because you do what others won't. You rise because you write it, live it, breathe it, and refuse to compromise. No backup plan, no maybe, no excuses, only action, only ownership, only consistent pressure applied in the direction of your vision. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until everything's perfect. Start where you are, with what you have. Make it real by writing it down. Then make it happen by committing fully. And don't expect instant rewards. The results will come in time. Your job is to keep showing up, keep moving, keep reminding yourself why you started. Keep proving to yourself that you are serious. You'll be tested. Your patience will be challenged. You'll have days where doubt creeps in. That's normal. That's part of the process. But you don't back down. You don't rewrite the goal to make it easier. You get stronger. You raise your effort. You increase your focus. You find new ways to keep going. That's what separates the ones who win from the ones who give up. The ones who win are not always the most talented. They're the ones who decide that they will not be stopped. They're the ones who wake up, write the goal again, and go chase it again. They don't waste time comparing. They don't complain. They don't pause for permission. They write it. They own it. They build it. And when you live like that, you earn something more than success. You earn self-respect. You begin to trust yourself. You walk with clarity. You stop second-guessing. Because you've proven that when you say you're going to do something, you follow through. That's rare. That's powerful. That's what builds confidence that doesn't shake in the face of failure. So don't skip this. Don't underestimate it. Write your goals every day. Make it a non-negotiable. Let it be the foundation of how you live. Let it guide your choices. Let it sharpen your priorities. Let it keep you aligned with who you're becoming. Every day you write it. You recommit. You tell the world, this is my direction. This is my standard. This is my mission. And when you commit fully, you stop needing outside motivation. You become your own fire. You create momentum that others can feel. You stop starting over. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stay in the process long enough to see the reward. This is your edge, your advantage, your personal commitment ritual. You write it, you live it, you execute it. Every single day, no compromise, no backing down, just one clear direction followed with full intensity. That's how goals are turned into reality. That's how potential is turned into proof. That's how ordinary lives become extraordinary. Not by chance, but by choice. One written goal at a time. One full commitment at a time. That's how you build a life you're proud to live. Number 10, question everything daily and think boldly for yourself. Start thinking for yourself. Stop blindly accepting what you're told. Stop living on someone else's ideas. Start questioning everything. Your habits, your thoughts, your beliefs, your decisions. Every single day. Ask yourself why you do what you do. Why you think what you think. Why you believe what you believe. Because if you don't question it, you're just repeating someone else's script. And that's not thinking. That's following. Most people never stop to think deeply. They repeat, they copy, They obey without knowing why. They take advice without asking if it makes sense for them. They believe what their parents said, what their teachers said, what their culture said, without ever stopping to ask if it's true. That kind of life doesn't lead to fulfillment. It leads to confusion, to frustration, to living in a way that feels off, but never knowing why. You were not born to live on autopilot. You were not meant to think like everyone else. You were meant to challenge, to explore, to break patterns, to wake up every day and ask, is this true for me? Does this serve me? Is this my choice or someone else's? Thinking boldly for yourself isn't about being rebellious for the sake of it. It's about being conscious. It's about having the courage to say, this may be normal, but that doesn't mean it's right for me. It's about being brave enough to walk a path that others might not understand. It's about choosing your life on purpose. Every day you are being shaped by media, by systems, by opinions, by voices trying to sell you their version of reality. If you're not careful, you'll start accepting things without ever checking if they're useful, if they're true, or if they align with your values. That's why questioning everything matters. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you awake. It keeps you free. Don't confuse knowledge with wisdom. Knowing facts doesn't mean you've thought for yourself. True thinking is about connecting the dots in your own way. It's about listening, observing, reflecting, and deciding based on reason, not pressure. It's about stepping back and saying, I hear what they're saying, but what do I think? That pause, that moment of reflection, is where your strength lives. Start with your habits. Are you doing things just because you've always done them, or because they truly help you grow? Look at your beliefs. Are they yours, or were they handed to you when you were too young to know the difference? Look at the way you react to people, to stress, to conflict. Is that response yours, or did you learn it from someone who was never at peace with themselves? The moment you begin to question, you begin to grow. You open space between the world's noise and your own voice. You begin to see that not everything you're told is truth. Not every rule is wise. Not every trend is worth following. Thinking boldly means refusing to settle for the easy answer. It means going deeper. It means risking discomfort to gain understanding. You'll feel resistance. Most people around you won't think this way. They'll tell you to stay in line, to be realistic, to fit in. That's their fear talking. Don't let it become yours. You don't owe anyone your silence. You don't have to believe something just because it's popular. Popular doesn't mean right. Loud doesn't mean wise. And old doesn't mean true. The world has always been moved forward by people who thought differently. People who asked the questions that others were afraid to ask. People who didn't wait for permission. People who were willing to stand alone, if necessary. You don't need to change the world to be one of those people. You just need to live with awareness, to live with integrity, to live in alignment with what you've discovered for yourself. Thinking for yourself is a daily practice. It's not something you master once. You have to keep questioning, keep challenging, keep checking in with your values. Because as you grow, your thinking should evolve. What served you 5 years ago may not serve you now. That's not failure. That's growth. Only those who question can adapt. Only those who think can evolve. This level of thinking takes effort. It takes time. It's much easier to scroll, to copy, to react without thinking. But that's not the life you're after. You want clarity. You want strength. You want the kind of confidence that comes from knowing who you are, not who you were told to be. And confidence doesn't come from agreeing with everyone. It comes from knowing you've done the work. You've looked within. You've asked the hard questions. You've formed your own conclusions. That kind of mind is powerful. It's steady. It's not easily manipulated. It can stand in chaos and remain calm. It can see through nonsense. It can lead instead of follow. Bold thinking is not loud thinking. It's not about arguing or proving points. It's quiet. It's deep. It's built in silence, in the way you observe, in the way you process, in the way you pause before you speak, before you act, before you judge. That pause is where real power lives. Question how you spend your time. Question what you chase. Question your relationships. Question your fears. Why do you believe they're true? Who told you they were? What evidence are you living with that needs to be examined? Don't be afraid of your thoughts. Face them. Investigate them. Turn them inside out until they either stand or fall. And if they fall, good. That means you've made room for something stronger. Too many people are living with beliefs that were built in survival, beliefs built in fear, beliefs handed down through generations of people who never questioned anything. And those beliefs are now shaping how they live, how they love, how they dream. Don't let that be you. You are not here to repeat. You are here to rise. Bold thinking is what makes your life your own. It's what gives you direction when the world tries to confuse you. It's what helps you say no when everyone else is saying yes. It's what keeps you focused when distractions try to steal your attention. It's what gives you the strength to walk away from what doesn't align. You don't need a degree to think. You don't need permission to question. You don't need validation to have your own voice. What you need is the courage to trust that voice, to stop waiting for others to confirm what you already know, to stop shrinking yourself to keep others comfortable. Thinking boldly is not about rejecting everything. It's about examining everything, keeping what's useful, letting go of what's not. It's about upgrading your beliefs as you upgrade your life. It's about not being loyal to old patterns that no longer reflect your potential. If you've never questioned something, you're not in control of it. It's in control of you. That applies to your mindset, your habits, your routines, your fears, your goals. You must be willing to ask, is this helping me? Is this part of who I want to become? Or is it something I'm just holding on to because it's familiar? Comfort is the enemy of bold thinking. Comfort whispers, stay here. Bold thinking says, let's explore further. Comfort says, don't rock the boat. Bold thinking says, this boat might not be worth staying on. Comfort keeps you stuck. Bold thinking sets you free. Every breakthrough in your life will start with a question, a moment of honesty, a challenge to your current way of thinking. It won't come from pretending everything is fine. It won't come from staying quiet. It'll come from the day you decided to ask something deeper, to go beyond surface-level answers, to seek truth, not just agreement. You owe it to yourself to live with that level of thinking. You owe it to yourself to wake up and challenge the noise. You owe it to your potential to think bigger, deeper, stronger. Not just once in a while, but daily. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You will grow faster when you stop taking everything at face value. You will move forward with more confidence when you've examined your reasons, your beliefs, and your goals. You will become unshakable, not by copying others, but by carving your own path, based on what you know to be right for you. So question everything. Question what's expected. Question what's normal. Question what's been handed to you, without your permission. And then choose boldly. Think boldly. Live boldly. Not to be different, but to be free. That's where the real strength is. In a mind that belongs to no one but you.